And welcome to this show with no name yet. This was dreamed up by Theonie Roussianos and myself to help people in your local community to raise the profile and encourage awareness of the wonderful, wonderful things that people are doing and the support that people are giving to others that matter for them and their communities. We help not-for-profits, charities and services to connect with communities and to raise brand awareness and help staff and volunteers working within them to become the best brand champions for their organisations that they possibly can be. Now, my partner in crime, Theonie's gone AWOL. I think you'll find her somewhere over on the in the western suburbs, sitting at her hairdresser's with her husband Jerry. Shout out to you guys. She's actually going to hook in, and when she can, she's got her own story with why that sort of thing's happening and why we're actually doing this as well. But for today, we are talking, she's going to jump in later. Today, we are talking to Sarah Brown from the Purple House in Alice Springs. The mission of the Purple House is to improve the lives of people with renal failure, reunite families, and reduce the incidence of kidney disease in the communities. This is part of the Western Desert Dialysis, and it's a health service run for and by the people in remote communities, getting people home to country and family. I love what you're doing, Sarah. It's pretty amazing stuff, all the way from Alice Springs, where it is, quote Sarah, bloody freezing. How are you going?
Hey, fine, thank you.
Hey.
It's cold.
Now we've just got, we did a test earlier and it looks like we've got our internet is taking a little while to catch up. I'm just having a look at how, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so you've just gone a wee bit fuzzy, but you've come back now. We'll just take a breather and let technology catch up with where we're at. You've got a beautiful setting there.
Yeah, I have. It's the Purple House, which has dialysis machines in the back bedroom, but we also have places for people to sit and have fun.
So now, Sarah, I'm just going to ask you if can you refresh and we'll see if that works, because we had perfect internet when we did the test and now it's gone very, very fuzzy and you're coming through intermittently. So refreshing means just to drop out and then completely click the guest link and come back in and we'll see how that goes. While Sarah is refreshing, thank you, Sarah. I'm going to share my screen because this is part of the Purple House. They've got a bus. Now, I want to, when Sarah comes back, I would love for her to explain to us what this bus is. It's gorgeous. It's got some Indigenous painting on the side, and it's a big, got the prime mover is this big purple, the prime mover on the front, and you can see it's there in the outback, and I'm sure it's something that's obviously going to help people or helps people with kidney dialysis. That's my best guess. And today we're recognising NAIDOC Week as well as National Diabetes Week, because it's something that affects most of, or a lot of us in some way or other. So just actually what I might do is I'll just share a little bit more about the Purple House page. We'll have a look at the About section here while we're waiting for Sarah to pop back in. And you can see they're in Alice Springs. And if you have a look at their story here, this is where I got the photo of the purple bus, the purple truck, sorry, the purple truck. If you're here, just jump in and say hi. Tell me where you're from. April's here and Stephen has given us a thumbs up and some hearts. Thank you very much for that. Jump in, say hi, let me know where you're watching in from. That would be awesome. I just want to share a bit about the story of the Purple House. And this is the purple truck, which I am assuming is part of the Purple House. It's run by the Western Desert Dialysis and funded by Medicines Australia. Now, the truck travels to remote communities to help Anago, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, from Central Australia to get home while still receiving treatment for kidney disease. The truck actually receives no government funding whatsoever to keep her on the road. So the communities help with their own resources. They do fundraising and do odd jobs. It is a beautiful thing. So share our story of Aboriginal people making lives better for themselves and their grandkids. And I'm really hoping that we do get Sarah back because she is the CEO of the Purple House. What I actually found out about Sarah through the local Rotary. Let's just see see if I may have a message from Sarah. Let's just see. No, it's this is one of those things, isn't it? I may have a let's see. So Sarah, CEO and of the Purple House, and I actually heard about her. She was in Adelaide late last year, I believe, and she had done a talk at Rotary, and I'm a member of the Tea Tree Gully Rotary, so shout out to Rotary who do some amazing things in the community as well. And Sarah had come and done a talk, and the next week, because I actually wasn't able to make that talk on that week, and the next week I had people saying, oh my God, you've got to contact Sarah, you've got to see what's happening, what they're doing with the Purple House, because it's amazing how they're helping people in the local communities and the remote, sorry, not local here, but remote communities in outback Australia. And Sarah was telling me earlier about their bush tucker medicine. Now, I don't even think I've got that right, but I can see she's just popped back into the lobby, and I'll bring her in again, and I'll just drop out the hello, Sarah. Yay, that's better. That's okay. That's okay. We did have a conversation earlier about how technology can be a bit dodgy sometimes, and we just roll with it. And when that happens, I just go, see this behind me? It says yay. And I love doing this. It's my yay is like village people, yay. You remember the village people? Yay. Anyway, so I just go yay for technology and yay that you could come back and join us. So I've been making stuff up about you in your absence. So I did. Oh, Sarah's frozen again. We'll just see. We should have got her to stand still. Come back, Sarah. There you are. Okay.
Is that all right? I might be inside instead of outside, I think.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We've got you. Just don't move.
Right.
No, Sarah, this is great because I did show a photo of the purple truck, and we did talk about the about section in the Purple House Facebook page. So can we start there perhaps? What the truck is helping people come home for dialysis? Just share with us.
If I go back a little bit, so Purple House started because people from Kintore, which is about 7 hours drive west of Alice Springs, were really worried about their family members who were having to leave their country and their families and everything that was important to them to come to Alice Springs to be close to a dialysis machine. And dialysis is 3 times a week for the rest of your life once you start dialysis. And so they had an auction and at the Art Gallery of New South Wales and raised $1 million in one night.
Wow.
They had beautiful paintings, collaborative paintings. The Kintore women's painting sold for $170,000.
Wow.
And this was a long time ago. It was in 2000. So they had $1 million worth of independent money. It wasn't government money. No one could tell them how to spend it. And it was their chance to come up with a new model of providing dialysis on country, and something that was owned and run, a company that was owned and run by the patients and their families. And as
That
you
is
can hear,
amazing.
it's quite a noisy joint, the Purple House. So we started with a machine here in town and a machine out bush. I'm just going to try and see if I can find a quieter spot. If I'm right next to the server, we should be right.
That's cool. I love the buzz. I love the buzz. We've had, while you're finding a quieter spot, I'll just bring my partner, business partner, good friend, and Greek woman who talks over everybody into the show. She's laughing now.
Thank you for
I can't find a
understanding.
quieter spot without going out in the garden and then risking.
That's okay.
I might just see if people cannot.
Party part, someone's coming now. You don't take
I love it. You know what I love about this is that this is reality TV at its best, isn't it? This is real life. This is not, I love it because it's not refined. It is just what it is. This is real life, and we're bringing it live to you. And people,
So I'm not going on. So anyway, the purple truck started because we'd set up dialysis in a number of remote communities, but we knew we weren't going to have dialysis in every community that people needed to get to. And so we designed a 2-chair dialysis unit on wheels. And it's been driving around the desert for the last 8 years. Never a cent of government funding, always money chucked in from communities and philanthropic funding. And it's a beautiful thing. It's just been out to a community called Willaura for about 6 weeks. And in 2 weeks' time, we're taking it to Garma, to Arnhem Land, so that people can get home to Arnhem Land and also attend the Garma Festival. So that's going to give us some national publicity because the Prime Minister, etc., always goes to Garma. But, I mean, the roots are that people needed to be home and they needed to be looked after by their family rather than having to hang around in hospitals. And so the Purple House here grew organically, where we started with it being somewhere to stick a dialysis machine, and it's just grown. So we've got a bush medicine social enterprise. We've got a pizza oven and chickens and a puppy and a fire pit. Yesterday,
I was going to say, you don't put the chickens on the pizza, do you?
No. Or feed them to the puppy.
This morning when we were trying this out, we cooked lots of kangaroo tails yesterday, and I had chickens running around with kangaroo tail bones and the puppy trying to steal the bones off the chickens, and it was me.
Yes. So we've got
children.
Yeah. Tell us a bit more about the bush tucker medicine.
Yeah, so last time I was sitting over here, we knocked out. But one of the things that people really missed, and I did set up can you see? I can't see what I can see. Can you see that's a grinding stone and some green stuff?
Can you, I don't know if you can reverse your camera. Can you just flick your camera around and then you should be able to see?
I'm not game to do anything.
On the bottom, now I'm assuming you're on your phone, Sarah?
Yeah.
On the bottom right-hand corner, where you can see yourself, there's a little orange thing you can press and it'll flip your camera.
Yeah. Oh.
Did you just do that?
There you go, she did.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go. We live in there. I'm going to put you on solo there so we can see what you're doing. Yeah. So
this is the favourite bush medicine. It's an aromophila, and it
Yeah.
grows out in the desert as a low bush. People use it so it gets ground up. This is a grinding rock. If you look at the wear on that rock, it's probably been used for hundreds of years.
Wow.
So people grind up the bush medicine, and I'm not an expert, but it's like it's all in the wrist. Grind up, and it's a beautiful kind of mentholy. It's quite a different smell. And then traditionally people would have boiled it up, used animal fat, but we use olive oil and beeswax, and we make a range of products. This is the one that comes out of that one.
Wow.
And so people use this one for. I'm trying to get a lid off and hold my phone.
You need to.
You need a producer.
Yeah, no, she just dropped out. She's just dropped out.
Can I just say, while we're waiting for her to come in, I was thinking you almost had. So we've got the show with no name. We almost had the show with no name and no co-host today.
We almost had the show with no name, no co-host, and no guest, so it's me by myself. So.
But that's okay. And I was excited while we're waiting for her to come in. I just want to say I was really excited to have Sarah on today talking about Purple House and everything that they do, because it's completely relevant to why I was late today.
Okay, so just run with it and let us know.
Let's
I did say that you did have a special story that's related to it being in a hairdresser that was related to why you're late, and it's all excusable. So
it
just
share. So Jerry, my husband, on Thursdays I am my husband's Uber, or whatever you want to call it. So he was diagnosed with an ultra rare, life-threatening disease that affects the kidneys about 2.5 years ago now. It was January 2016. And he's doing well now. He has treatment every fortnight and all that kind of thing. But he had a seizure in December, which means he's not allowed to drive. So I have to drive him bloody everywhere, including the freaking hairdresser. And he made an appointment, and the hairdresser was running late, which was why I was running late. And he's not on dialysis or anything like that, but we see it because where he has treatment, it's in the day centre at the Royal Adelaide Hospital. So we're around all the other dialysis patients, and it's tough for them when people are going through dialysis. You can see that they're hooked up to this thing for hours a day for depending on where they are. I think it can be 3 days a week or possibly more. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, it's not fun when you see you're around there and you see little kids having dialysis and all that kind of stuff. It gets a bit So in the remote communities, it's much the same. So the purple truck, the portable dialysis unit is just absolutely freaking amazing to be able to bring that to the remote communities who would otherwise, these people would die without it.
They would, and they wouldn't be able to spend time in their communities and with their communities. We've got a lovely big comment here from Deb, which has just covered both of our faces. I just want to share, she's learned a lot about kidney disease due to her mother having it, and she's been diagnosed with it. I suggest strongly that people learn how they can improve their kidney function by stop eating all carbohydrates and sugar. My own kidney function was at 28% and went up to 38%. With research I have done there are people that have improved their kidney function with food, which have got them off dialysis. I'm now doing keto, intermittent fasting. Bush tucker medicine is so good for anyone with kidney disease. Thank you for that, sharing your experience, Deidre. That's really very much appreciated. Let's try
and it's
3, Sarah.
28%. So I just want to say that's nuts. Jerry's kidney function at the moment is sitting at about 51%. So 28%, you just can't even imagine.
So Sarah, bush tucker medicine.
Oh, so it's bush. So we talk about bush balms. I mean, people talk about bush medicine, but we create bush balms because certainly people have got lots of stories about medicines working. We stick to external rubs and creams and soaps because we don't know how anything interacts with people's medications or their dialysis. And so what started as dialysis patients wanting to make a batch of bush medicine for themselves and for each other because they were away from home has turned into a social enterprise. So we've got a bush balm that people use, the one that I was grinding, and I'm not going to go out there and try that again.
Well, thank you for that. Actually, it was good what we saw of it, and you learned something new about flipping cameras and stuff like that. So
that's Erimunka, and people use that for aches and pains, restless legs. We've recently put it in massage oil and soap, and also into a hot pack. But the problem is it smells so bloody good that when you heat it up in the microwave, we keep on hyperventilating and falling over.
So do you actually sell that as a way to raise funds for Purple House?
So
because I'm actually interested, which is why I'm asking.
So we've got an online shop off our website, and we're also Oxfam traders. And in Adelaide, we stock through Oxfam shop and the SA Museum and the Art Gallery on North Terrace.
Okay, yeah.
But around Australia, in most places now, we've got at least one, like the Art Gallery or an Indigenous-owned business in most states and territories. But easiest is to have a look online. And then there's another
I'm just looking at your Facebook page. There's no shop on there.
on the website.
Yeah, so okay, so is there any plans to put a shop on your Facebook page so we can, because we're lazy, we like to stay on Facebook.
I will take that on notice. It's a very good idea.
Do you know, it's funny, and it works because when you're looking, I find that when I'm browsing, I'm not necessarily looking to buy something, but if I see something pop up on Facebook and it's like, oh, I'm interested in that, if there's a shop and I can buy now from there, because otherwise I think, oh, I'll look at their website later, and then you forget.
Yeah, cool. And then there's another bush medicine called Arata, which people use for dry skin, itchy skin, and dialysis often gives you dry, itchy skin. But also we have people buying it from around Australia who suffer from psoriasis and eczema.
Yep.
And find it really useful. So
I have psoriasis in my hair, and I really am looking for products that are going to help with that, which is I used to have it all over my body, so I'm definitely interested. So maybe we could put
sort me out later.
Sort me out. What we can do is we can put a link to your website in the post above here. So I'm definitely interested. And what was the one that was for psoarisis and eczema?
It's called Arata.
Arata.
Which is ARETHE. Yeah.
So let me just.
So at the Purple, so people can get paid to go and pick for us and come and help us on their non-dialysis days. There's always a supply of little freebie plastic tubs here for all the dialysis patients. So it gives them access to the bush medicines for free for well-being. And then we flog it off to other people to make money to get more people home. So it's a bit of a beautiful
you can
thing.
Flog it off to us.
Yeah, and it's NAIDOC week, and there's a real focus on women.
Yes.
Week, and making.
Was it because of her we can is the theme?
So bush medicine is very much women's work. the blokes go hunting. The
Yeah.
women do the hard work and grind seed to make flour for damper and catch little lizards and dig up witchetty grubs and make the bush medicine. And so it's
Beautiful.
important work that keeps people alive. And then the
Yeah.
blokes come in with the hero kangaroo every couple of weeks. I must tell you, we had a crazy day here yesterday. We had a group of school kids from Bellingen come to meet people and to learn how to make bush medicine. And then we had a group of women from Sydney, older women from non-Aboriginal women from Sydney who were boot scooters. And
Oh,
they came and
really?
taught us dancing. And we cooked damper and kangaroo tails and pussycats. We cooked a cat.
You what?
We cooked a pussycat on the fire and everyone ate cats.
And you're not joking.
I'm not joking. I did try a little bit of pussycat. So the funny bit is beware when your boss, your chairperson, says he's going to cook your lunch, because he
So
brought in
I'm just
a great big black so that's the pizza oven. So we've got a pizza oven at the Purple
Yeah.
House.
There's no cat on that pizza, is there?
No.
I'm thinking, I used to think hold the anchovies, but it might be hold the felines soon.
Yeah, Roz,
out in the desert,
I just like to say hi to Roz. Roz is great. I love you, Roz. She shows up all the time, and I really appreciate that she's here.
She does.
She
I
wants
feel
to
like
know.
Roz lives in my house.
She lives on your computer screen. Roz, it's great. I've actually not met Roz in real life, but we're really good mates. So tell us, Roz wants to know, is it wildcat? Please don't say it's somebody's pet.
it certainly didn't have a collar on and
And it wasn't
name badge
microchipped.
saying Twinkles or something. It was so out in the desert. Feral cats are a real issue. They kill lots of endangered native species. And the women rangers out at Kirikura, actually, their job is to go and trap cats, kill them, open up their stomachs and count all the lizards and birds, and then they've got 26 recipes for pussycats. But,
wow.
So it's it's, if you think of it that way, for people who have an issue with it's a cat, it's a pet, it's not. Think about the rabbits. People have pet rabbits too, but you can eat that too.
Yeah. Look, our mob love eating rabbit as well. But so lots of people had stories of pussycat being good for helping you to run further and be strong. And we had to pick one old fella up to bring him in because he had been given the head of the cat. So they decided that he needed to eat the cat's brains. So I am usually a vegetarian, but yesterday I must admit I did try a tiny little bit of pussycat.
And did it taste like chicken?
I reckon it tastes like quite dry lamb. It wasn't unpleasant, and I thought, well, I better, because often, when people have got lizard or witchetty grub or something, they'll say they'll be quite happy for you not to try it because it's favourite bush medicine, bush
So
tucker.
does that mean more for them?
But Mr. West, our chairperson, had actually brought in the pussycat for us, so we had to give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You can't offend the boss, can you?
No. Oh yeah, so there's a nice photo of all our bush balms. That was when I went down to a dialysis nurse conference in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago, and we gave them all freebies with a pamphlet about why they should come back and work for us. So I was going to say, we started with one machine in Kintore and one machine in Alice, and now we've got dialysis in 14 communities.
That's amazing.
And per truck, and we'll be in 20 communities by the end of the year. So the photo up at the moment is people outside the dialysis unit in Yundamu, and cooking tails and damper for the people on dialysis, which is a lovely thing to do.
Sarah, I'm not sure if you and Adaire discussed this before I jumped on, but with dialysis, typically speaking, how long is somebody hooked up to the machine being dialysed?
So most people are on for 5 hours every second day. So by the time they come in, get ready, have the needles in, it's about a 7-hour day every second day. And we're doing dialysis 1,000 kilometres from the nearest hospital, like over a day's drive from Alice. So you can imagine before us, people just had to pack up their whole lives and move to town, and they had very few opportunities to get home. But now we've got people who are home on their community all the time, paying for their arts, looking after their sacred sites, being leaders of their community, and only have to come into Alice once a year to have some checkups, buy some new undies, and head home again.
That's beautiful, because it would improve your quality of life no end, because you're where you want to be, aren't you?
That's exactly right. The reason I asked though is I know that so that's a full day thing. You're looking at seven hours.
Yeah.
And I know people in major cities, people who live in Adelaide, Sydney, wherever, who are close to a hospital, can't hold down a full-time job when they're on dialysis. They might be working part-time, but they can't hold down a full-time job. And if you're remote, you've got no way. You've got no way of holding down any job.
Also, I mean, your kidneys are filtering your blood all the time, and it's quite gentle. Dialysis patients get a whack of filtration every second day, and so people feel rubbish. They feel quite tired out.
Yeah.
There's quite strict, people are on fluid restrictions because they don't wee. So anything that people drink or eat stays in until it gets filtered out by dialysis. So people usually can only drink 500 mils of fluid in 24 hours. There's quite a strict regime of what things they can and can't eat. It affects every aspect of their lives. So for people who, English is their 5th or 6th language, they've lived out bush all their lives, everything that makes life worthwhile is out there. It's just, it's hard slog. So what we try to do here at the Purple House is to create a place where even if people are away from home, they're going to see a friendly face, they're going to get something nice to eat, they can do their washing and ring their family. I'm chief. I've got these fabulous Telstra wire clippers to cut people's toenails with.
Oh, wow.
And chief chin plucker. And we just, try and suck the juice out of every day and give people a chance that they've got some hope of getting home and seeing their family and participating in community life. And it's owned and run by patients and their families. So
I think that's the beautiful thing. Now, Sarah, we're out of time now, but just quickly before we go, Ros wants to know, the bush medicine looks really interesting. Is it something that they teach? So are they teaching how?
Yep, so a couple of things. One is finding opportunities for people to pass the cultural knowledge about these plants on to their kids and their grandkids. But we run workshops here And so yesterday a group of Bellingen school kids learnt how to make bush medicine and took a tub home with them that they helped to make. So yeah, the Purple House in Alice, we've got an open door policy. We love volunteers and visitors and people to come and meet folks and share our story. And the Purple House Facebook page, if people log on, they can send me a message or get in touch. We've got people who are...
The link is up above. We've actually put the link to the page.
Yeah,
the link to your page is above.
We do have to wind up. We'd love to have you back to get more information and interview you again. This has been fantastic.
No
we do have to go. Now, this week is National Diabetes Week, and diabetes is one of the leading causes of kidney disease. So look out for the signs. I know your kidneys can be 80% shot before you show any symptoms. So you really do need to listen to your body and get to the doctor. Have your checkups. If you're over 40, definitely have your checkups. And, don't be too proud. Just listen to your doctor.
Thanks for having us. And I'm sorry I dropped out so much of the time.
No,
That's not a problem.
We don't say sorry. We say thank you for understanding.
And it's actually not your fault. So yes, thank you very much, Sarah, Theonie. It's just been great. We've got some comments happening. Sarah's gone already. We didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. We've got to wind it up. This is the show with no name yet, and I'm Adaire Palmer.
Almost no co-host.
I'm Adaire Palmer, and
I'm Theonie Roussianos.
We'll see you next week at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, Australian Central Standard Time, for another edition of the show with no name yet. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Thanks, everyone.